Welcome to this Mobility Matters video on lameness detection produced by the Cattle Lameness Academy. In this video we are going to discuss lameness detection in cattle, focusing on the use of mobility scoring. Detecting lameness in cattle early is key and will be discussed further in future videos. Before we move on to the AHDB mobility scoring method, I'd like to ask Dave, one of the Cattle Lameness Academy vet techs, how mobility scoring could be useful for farmers.
Firstly, to identify new lame cows that need to be checked for causes of lameness and treated where required, so i.e. a good lameness detection tool. Second common use for mobility scoring is to assess how much lameness is in the herd on the day of scoring, something called the lameness prevalence. This method is often used by milk buyers to assess lameness on farm and to benchmark farms against one another. Also, don't forget to mobility score the whole herd, as dry cows are often missed.
Here you can see that Dave has chosen a level area of concrete with good grip to conduct his mobility score. Cows are evenly spread out for ease of scoring, and it is important to record ID numbers for scores 2 and 3 to enable prompt treatment of newly lame cows. Cows should walk calmly and unhurried where possible, as running can mask a mild lameness. Farm tracks are not suitable for mobility scoring, as the cows often don't walk smoothly due to stones and irregularities in the tracks. Grass is too soft and often uneven, which may mask a mild lameness. If mobility scoring on exit from the parlour, it is helpful to collect freeze brand numbers from the pit prior to scoring, as shown here by Lucy, one of our Cattle Lameness Academy vet techs. Cows will often overlap when first coming out of the parlour, so pre-identification of animals is very helpful, especially for white animals with no freeze brands. Now we are ready to start mobility scoring using the AHDB mobility scoring method. Grading is based on the animal's stride length, tracking, arch of the back, head nodding and uneven steps. A score 0 cow has good mobility, whereas a score 1 cow has an uneven step or shortened strides, but the key point is that the affected limb or limb is not immediately obvious. A score 2 cow shows obvious uneven weight bearing and the limb is immediately obvious. Usually they have an arch to the back. A score 3 cow is unable to keep up the herd due to an immediately identifiable limb or limbs. Score 2 and 3 cows should be seen as soon as possible, as prompt treatment of a newly lame cow is essential. We recommend lifting the affected limb or limbs of a score 3 cow within 24 hours and a score 2 cow within 48 hours. Score 1 cow should be inspected at the next opportunity for a routine foot inspection or trim to ensure any potential lesions are detected early and treated appropriately. Here is a good example of tracking on a score 0 cow. Her hind feet fall where the front feet were, and this is shown by the white, red and green markers. Score 2 and 3 cows will not demonstrate tracking, as they will favour the unaffected limb. This score 3 cow has an obvious arched back, visible alteration to gait and a substantial head nod. Her head goes up when she weight bears through the affected limb. We are now going to run through the scores. If you found it helpful, please stop and rewind the videos to play them again. Here we have 2 clips of score 0 cows. She shows even weight bearing and rhythm, a flat back, long fluid strides and is showing tracking. Here we have 2 clips of score 1 cows. Her steps aren't even, with slightly shortened strides. The affected limb is not easily detected, and she has a slight arch to her back. Here we have 4 clips of score 2 cows. She has an arched back, shortened strides and an altered hind limb gait. It can be useful to watch the animal from behind as well to demonstrate the lame limb if you struggle from the side. This next score 2 cow has a hind left leg lameness. Animals weight bear for the shortest period of time possible on the affected limb. This next cow shows an obvious faster hind limb movement, indicating the back right leg is the affected limb. Here we have 2 clips of score 3 cows. She has an obvious head nod. Her head goes upwards when she weight bears on the affected front left leg. She also has an arched back and is unable to keep up with the herd. In the UK, there is a register of mobility scorers known as ROMs, from which you can find registered scorers and up-and-coming training courses on their website. The Cattle Lameness Academy regularly holds ROMs-approved mobility scoring courses, so please see our website for more details. So, to summarise what we've covered in this video on lameness detection. The AHDB mobility score is relatively straightforward and can be used fortnightly as a detection tool for identifying newly lame cows. Quarterly mobility scores are being used by milk buyers to assess the cattle's well-being on farm, and high levels of lameness may affect milk prices going forwards. Scores 2 and 3 cows should be seen immediately for treatment, and score 1 cows should be seen at the next routine trimming session. If you'd like to go on a mobility scoring course, please see the Cattle Lameness Academy website for our dates of our up-and-coming training courses.
Now that we've identified which animals are lame, it is important we learn how best to deal with these animals and treat them appropriately. Please move on to our next module on lameness prevention to watch videos on foot trimming, cow comfort, cow flow and foot bathing. Thanks for listening to this Cattle Lameness Academy module on lameness detection.